And Happy New Year. And it feels really weird to say that because it's still December when we're filming this.
We are recording this under the insanity that is still 2023, but we are welcoming you in all the glory that is and will be 2024. Hallelujah.
Yes. Hallelujah. Amen. Welcome. And we're in Mercury retrograde still. So we are taking all the precautions.
As you're listening to this, Mercury has gone direct. So any sudden panic attacks that just might have come on, it is what we're dealing with in the past, which is when the ghost of Christmas past, which is recording this right now.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Heather, you are on fire today.
I am unhinged.
Seriously.
Y'all are in for a treat today.
Seriously, if you've been following AstroLOVE and Heather and I's escapade this past year, you will know there's always a pre-show, which we haven't yet released, but we
were just talking about the release plan, about what that's going to look like.
Oh, just wait for the sound bites, my friends. Just wait.
They are. They're pure gold, if I do say so myself.
Seriously.
I personally cannot wait for that blooper reel outtakes. Do you remember TV shows and movies used to do that? I just saw somebody post a reel. Sorry for this sharp left turn, guys. Especially at the end, I used to love it. Pixar started doing that, with the animated shows, and they would do them. Yes. I saw someone put a clip together of old Pixar blooper reels, which I used to think was just the intentionality behiand that, because they had to digitally create the outtakes.
Right. Didn't Toy Story have?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember Buzz Lightyear and what's his name?
Woody.
Yeah, Woody. That's what it was. Oh my gosh.
So funny that they used to do things like that. But those were always my favorite. I remember going into theaters and you'd sit and wait and just with so much anticipation for the bloopers and outtakes to come out. And I don't feel like that really happens anymore. And it should.
I'm a huge fan. I always wait until literally the lights come back on, because I'm the one sitting there hoping that there's something extra at the very end, a blooper.
Yes. So this is something that one of my proudest moments as an older sister is when my brother and I were real young, 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. I convinced Eric that, because you would put a VHS tape in, and when it ended, it would just be that black and white static.
Yes.
I convinced him that he just needed to sit and wait, and another movie would come in. So he used to do that. He would wait and he would sit forever in front of a screen that had black and white static going on, and no movie ever came up, but he was always so hopeful until one of my parents came in and asked him what he was doing. Cause I got up and left and he was still sitting there. So I was like, no, another movie's going to come on. Just sit and wait. It always happens like that. And so then our parent came in and was like, what are you doing? And they were like, Heather told me another movie was going to come on. They're like, no, the movie's done. It's one movie, one tape.
Oh, that was terrible. Okay, but the real question is, how many times did you fall for that?
It was definitely more than one. He was such a trusting young man.
Oh my goodness.
I also once told him that when I was in gymnastics, that day I learned how to do somersaults down the stairs. So I taught him how to do a somersault. I had him ready to go down the stairs. I showed him how to do a somersault. I did not do a somersault down the stairs. I just told him that we did. So I taught him how to do a somersault. But then my parents got home and asked what we were doing at the top of the stairs. And he was like, Heather's going to teach me how to do a somersault down the stairs.
Oh my God.
They're like, no, she is not.
I'm surprised your parents let you stay home alone with him.
And our staircase was curved. So he would have gone into the wall and
oh my gosh. Eric, if by chance you're watching this, I'm so sorry.
He had a great time.
Says Heather. Says the older sister. Disclaimer, Eric is still alive.
Yeah, Eric
lovely
is
family.
Eric's still alive. He's never broken a bone. He is a little more skeptical of people, but it's just made him smarter. Ask questions, get curious. I did him favors.
You did. You totally did. I'm just curious, what's his human design?
Oh, he is a manifesting generator.
Oh, and his lines, his profile?
I don't remember. Me. Do 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 do. Sorry, guys, I'm just pulling up his chart. I was not explain what that's going into like my rendition of the Jeopardy theme song. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
I'm just curious. I've really gotten into looking at human design charts for families and siblings in particular.
Yeah. No, that's something that I know is very infuriating for me. I'm always a little bit jealous of a manifesting generator as a generator. So I was like, of course you'd be a manifesting generator.
I don't know, the way you're talking about 2024, you might be, calling in that manifesting generator side of you.
Okay, this was all for naught. My brother, I no longer have my brother's chart saved.
Oh no. It's okay. It's not important. It's not that important to the story or to the
Eric,
episode.
if you're listening, that is, you are no longer important.
We love you.
We do. All right.
Holy goodness. Okay, and we're back.
If you're still with us, thank you. We are going to get into the astrology of January momentarily, we promise.
Yes. I would love to just do a quick recap of 2023.
Yes,
like, as we both agree, 2023 is technically was a challenging year. It's so great talking in the future. A challenging year. And we are both embracing, as a lot of my friends and my family also have expressed, embracing 2024 with hope and happiness and excitement and curiosity of just something more.
This is something that, like, the reason why I love December and the end of the calendar year so much is because it does provide us so much like hindsight, that 2020 of looking back and seeing, it's so easy to get like caught up and frustrated. And I'm saying this completely from my experience of living it this year. Like, in the thick of this year, I was so miserable. This was one of the toughest years. And Brandy and I have had conversations about this, where my biggest takeaway from 2023 is that self-awareness is horseshit. It is something to strive for, but only if you're going to do something about it. Like, I am painfully self-aware, and that's been something that I have been praised and complimented, and has been pointed out as a positive feature for me. And I will say it can be, but it can also be an absolute terror. And that's what it was for me this year, because it's not enough to be self-aware, because it becomes a burden. And what I mean by that is, like, I was so aware of how this year was unfolding and how I was feeling. But what I was really aware of was that it was all my doing. And that's where the frustration happens, is when you get yourself into the mess, you've gotten yourself into the situation, and you have to see it through, or you have to deal with the consequences, and just being aware of the fact that it is all you and there's no one else to blame it for. Ignorance is bliss in that aspect. It would have been so much easier in the moment if I wasn't so aware of the fact that everything that I was experiencing and the misery I was experiencing was not my own doing, and I could offload that onto someone else. What a gift that would have been for me.
Right.
But I mean, ultimately, the gift is that I went through such a hard time this year that it was so painfully uncomfortable that I had to take action on it and say, okay, I cannot put myself through this again. This is so ridiculous. I need to make changes. What are those changes? Really lean into the understanding and deepening the understanding of my charts, and looking back on the decisions I was making, where I was out of alignment, how I was out of alignment, how it was making me feel, and what I could do differently, and really opening my eyes to, okay, these are the boundaries I need to set for myself. These are the insights and the signs and the synchronicities that are coming into play. I have an opportunity to do differently, so let's do it. Like, I have all these tools, I have the understanding, I have the wherewithal, and I like rested on my laurels thinking that because I have all of this, that I'm going to do better. And it's not, unless we action it and we use it.
100%.
So let's strive for self-awareness, but let's not put it on the pedestal that we put it on. Let's put doing better on the pedestal. In order to do better, we have to know better, but that is 20% is the knowing better. The 80% is the doing better. So if you've had a tough year and you're realizing that, you know, because whether you do realize this or not, it was your doing in some way, shape, or form. We put ourselves in situations, and we are always in control of our emotions, how we feel, how we process, the things that we allow, the things that we don't allow. Like, our perspective and how we experience things is always up to us. So if you had a miserable year, it might have been that like shit was coming at you, but you have to take some level of responsibility for how you moved through that and how you chose to do that, because you can choose to lean into the mud and the muck and be a victim of it, or you can choose to say, enough is enough. I need to do something to change this up, to take control of my life. So there is always a choice for us in that sense. And it's empowering to remember that and then to action it. So don't confuse that with, like, if you went through something horrible that you brought on that horrible thing. That's not what I'm saying, but how you experienced it and the way that you moved through that situation that happened to you is up to you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a more empowering way of dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
As well.
Yeah.
Right.
And the world was on fire this year. It still is. And it is so hard to navigate your life, especially like with like the travesties that are happening overseas. And there's two things that I want to say with that. And the first is that it is so hard to, when you know that horrible things are happening to people in the world, and there's nothing that, like, it feels like there's nothing that you can do about it. And then you look at what's going on in your life and the things that are difficult for you, the hard time processing those things. We can sometimes use that against ourselves and be like, you know what, it's not that bad. Like, it could be so much worse, and it invalidates our feelings and our emotions. And that's not helping anybody by doing that. You're allowed to be, it might seem trivial when you compare it against something else, but it's okay for you to feel like you're having a hard time, to be upset by things that you may call trivial or mundane or not that big of a deal. But it's so important to allow yourself to accept that this is the way that you feel. There is validity in it. But if you feel like it is something that is trivial, then you can check yourself and say, okay, this is something that is so manageable for me to be able to handle. So let me handle it because I have that power and that opportunity to right now, but don't invalidate your feelings. Your feelings are still valid, but it can help to put a little bit of perspective on what it is that you're experiencing and maybe motivate you to make those shifts.
Thank you for saying that.
I just feel like everybody needs to hear that.
Yeah, no, and I, yeah, I mean, I definitely can see it myself where I've done that, where I've actually had I've had some really good friends call me out on that too, where they remind me that my feelings do matter, and what I am experiencing or going through is just as important, in the scheme of things, because it's happening to me, and by me not acknowledging and just thinking that it doesn't matter, it doesn't help the situation.
No, and the reality of what happens is by you invalidating your feelings, one, you're breaking your trust with yourself, and what you're communicating to yourself is that you don't recognize your feelings and your feelings don't matter, but it doesn't make them go away. It just makes you push them down and ignore them. So you're not dealing with them. So then it exists underneath the surface, and then that's what starts to bubble up. So when you just allow yourself, even if you're like, this is so stupid, but I am really upset about it, look at it and deal with it and say, I'm feeling upset. It may be a little thing, but it's a little thing, which means that I can deal with this and move forward from it. I can see why I'm upset about it. I can process it and I can move forward faster. And that strengthens your trust with yourself and saying that, you are safe to feel the way that you are feeling at all times. You just get to choose how fast you move through it, how long you hold on to it, but don't weaponize your feelings against yourself. Your feelings are always valid.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, Dr. Heather
holiday
Fisk.
gift. We're a few years off from Doctor, but
it's coming. It's coming.
That will be so wild. You guys, if I do get my PhD, you best believe I will be making all of you refer to me as Dr. Heather.
No, it's a given. What? This is when it's official.
When I'm officially.
Absolutely. No, and again, I think it's so important also this time of year, where it's very easy to get caught up in our families and their opinions and just all the different things you might be experiencing and feeling and going through, especially if this is a hard time for you because maybe you're dealing with loss as well. It's like, allow that.
Yes. Okay. So here's another thing for this time of year. And I have two things on this as well.
Yeah, please.
One, if you like, for me, this is that I love this time of year. I am happiness on steroids. I'm like the actual human embodiment of Buddy the Elf. I'm not going to minimize my joy and my happiness because somebody else is feeling sad. It's not my job to manage my feelings and emotions, and not being insensitive about that before anyone feels that way. I am conscious of the fact that this is also a very difficult time for other people. And if anyone is having a hard time, I am very happy to pivot to be a safe space for them. But I'm not going to minimize myself for the off chance that I come across somebody who is offended by it. Now, if you are somebody who has a hard time this time of year, that is completely understandable as well. Your feelings are also valid, and be conscious and take care of yourself. People are not going to automatically assume that it is a rough year or a rough time for you, just like we're not going to automatically assume that it's a positive time for other people. But one thing that we do really need to do is take ownership of our feelings and emotions and be comfortable with what they are, because they exist. And that's all that it means. Your feelings exist. They're neither good nor bad. So if you're having a hard time, let someone know. Because the people that are in your life want you to be happy and comfortable and feeling good in your life. And the only way that they're actually going to know how you're feeling is if you let them know. And it can be as simple as, I am not happy. I'm having a tough time. Brandy asked me how I was doing when we got on the call, and I said, Mercury retrograde is really kicking my ass.
Yes, you did.
I am fighting with technology left and right. But you can just a little nugget or just something like that. But take the empowerment for yourself and remember that, this is, you've got to do what you've got to do to get through this time as well. And if that means, going and like watching movies or treating yourself to something or going out and seeing friends, whatever it is that like your coping is to get through, like treat yourself to that. Yeah. You are worthy of it. It is a tough time of year for a lot of people, and it is okay, but you have to let people know so that you can have a life preserver for yourself available.
Yes. Yes. Take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good way to start off the year with these reminders.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be in the mindset of 2024 right now. What a vacation.
Seriously. I mean, I think, no, I know 2024 is going to be a great year. I'm putting that intention out there. Whatever happens is going to happen with or without my doing. I'm intending to make the best out of every situation, every opportunity. Right? There's a gift in everything, a gift and a lesson to be learned. I'm open for it. I'm ready for it. So, yeah. And then having this as extra support is just a cherry on top.
Oh yeah. If you like need to like talk about something, if you're having a tough time, you don't know like how to move forward into 2024, you are really excited and have a lot of big plans about 2024 that you just want to share and you're excited about, like whatever's going on for you and you want a space to bring that out in. Our DMs are open. We are here for you. Yay! We want to hear it. We want to celebrate you. We want to support you, whatever it looks like. That's why we do this.
Exactly. Exactly. And on that note, let's get to it. I can't wait. Like, what's happening in January?
Y'all, we are entering January and good old Capricorn. I
will say I have never felt more Capricorn-ish than this year.
Okay, love that for you, because guess what? I love Capricorn.
I've learned to appreciate it. And now, I mean, seriously, but this whole year with you and learning more about astrology and how it works and all of it, I feel like I'm finally getting a handle on it and like understanding what things mean. And also I feel like I'm more sensitive now to what's going on. Yeah. If that makes sense. So it's like,
you've got the awareness going on.
Oh yeah. So I can feel the Capricorn energy running through me.
And don't she feel good?
So good.
I, of course, am very biased towards Capricorn because pretty much all of my outer planets, except for Pluto, exist in Capricorn. So I got strong Cappy energy. Which is fun growing up because obviously my son is in Cancer and they're in direct opposition of each other. So they're polarities, which is a fun way to exist, trying to navigate the black and whites.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to start with fast facts for Capricorn. So Capricorn is marked by, like, the symbol is the sea goat. It's ruled by Saturn, which is why it has that very structured, authoritative, again, like I think I said this last year, but it is my favorite description that I have heard of to date of or reference to Capra or to Saturn. And that is Maddie Murphy from Cosmic RX refers to Saturn as Leather Daddy.
I'm not sure you mentioned that last year.
It lives rent-free in my head. And anytime like I play word association constantly, which is maybe something that I shouldn't be saying out loud to people, but you know what? So when I hear Saturn in my head, leather daddies, like it says at the same time. So know that anytime that I say the word Saturn, internally, I'm also saying leather daddy. And I invite you to join me in that.
I might be doing that now too.
It's fun. And it makes it, because people can get like a little weird about Saturn because it is so structured, so authoritative, so ruling, like very like, there's a lot of like very like rigidness associated with Saturn. It can feel really constricting sometimes. So I feel like Saturn gets a little bit of a bad rap. And so I feel like a cute nickname like Leather Daddy really lightens it.
Love it.
So we've got Capricorn is an earth energy. It is our cardinal earth energy. And it's got a negative polarity, which means that it's really good, like being solo on its own. It's really good functioning. You know, it doesn't need that like social aspect to it. Very grounded, very rooted in like earthly things, you know, the things that we love, the get shit done. The season that it marks is the beginning of winter, and the spirit that it's really bringing is learning to leverage systems and strategies like a jiteng queen.
Yes.
Or it's the season of work it, honey.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We are here to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the traits that we often see with Capricorn is obviously like very responsible people. They're the people that you know that you can turn to, and they will get whatever, like you can lean on them without thinking or about anything whatsoever. You know, if you've got a Capricorn on the case, that it's going to get done, and it is going to get done in the best way possible. It's going to be done smart. It's going to be done on time. It's going to be efficient. It's going to be effective. Capricorns make really great leaders or authority figures. They can be very traditional. And that can sometimes be to their own detriment because they like the tried and true. They don't like to get too explorative in things. We've got proof in the pudding. So why are we going to like edge out of there a little bit?
Right.
They're very, very professional. So sometimes when you meet a Capricorn in person, it can be like sometimes they get a rep for like not being very fun loving. It's just that their fun exists more in structure. You know?
Yep.
They're
Totally
very respectful, dignified. They've got hella follow through. Even if they're, and this is where like my grit comes from, is like if I'm going to do something, which was part of my issue in the summer, is like I got myself involved in projects that I had no business being involved in, but because I agreed to them, I had to see them through. So then I was just miserable all summer. Like I've got this, I hate what I'm doing because I'm a generator doing things that I'm not supposed to be doing, and it sucks the life out of you. Mm-hmm. But I've got to see it through to the end because I committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're ambitious as all heck. They've got perseverance. They've got patience. They're very purpose and impact driven. And they are like, they love rules. They love a rule. They love to be rule makers, but they like to know what to expect. And that way, like when they know, the best way to allow a Capricorn to have fun is to let them know where the boundaries are, what the rules are, so that they can let go. They don't have to be thinking about anything else because they know the structures.
Okay, so question for you.
Yes.
Sorry, interrupt. For example, take myself, my moon is in Capricorn. So all of these things could apply to me when it comes to emotion, maybe relationship.
Yeah.
Anything.
So for you, like the deepest core of who you are, the most private part of you, sometimes the part of you that can be more shadowy, it's going to come up in this way. So this could be something where like you do get really hard on yourself. And that's part of like your Capricorn being like, you should know better.
Okay.
So your inner talk can be a little bit more of like that authoritative, like wagging of the finger. But it can also be like, you know exactly what you need to feel protected, to feel safe, to feel secure, the process to work through your emotions. You know that you're always going to show up and take care of yourself and be that caretaker for others, because that's what exists in that Capricorn.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
So some of the archetypes that we see for Capricorn, they're like, we'll see them a lot of times as like captains of industry. They're serving big CEO energy. We're going to see them as world leaders. They make excellent consultants or strategists. They make excellent economists. You know, the things like all those things might have just sounded like really dull and boring, but like there's big impact and they're super important and they involve a lot of structure, a lot of precision, a lot of like tedious tasks.
Yes.
City planners, business analysts, accountants. Those are our Capricorn.
Those can all be sexy.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. And it's like you want to, like, you can turn a Capricorn on by giving them like structure, like talk numbers to them, talk planning, talk efficiency.
Yes. Yes. I will. Yes.
Right. Like that. I get turned on by those things. If anyone wants to know.
Oh my gosh. So true. So true.
Yeah. You're getting stuff done. Okay.
Checking off my to-do list. Yes.
So some of our celeb friends that are Capricorns, we have Princess Kate Middleton.
Oh, okay.
Another royal to North America, Princess Blue Ivy.
Yes.
That is a Capricorn. That kid came out the womb with big plans in mind, big ambitions. She's been regulating her parents, like teaching them how to be cool. So like she told her mom, I want to go to she was telling Beyonce what tracks to include in her shows and what to not include in her shows. Like she's getting out there like, I'm ready to be on stage and I'm going to own it. I'm going to refine that craft. I'm going to persevere. Like listening to Beyonce talk about Blue Ivy and the way that she showed up and served while doing her summer job, which was performing on the Renaissance tour.
You should all be so lucky.
Like Queen Capricorn energy. Bradley Cooper is a Capricorn. Can we all take a moment?
I know.
This is how we know Capricorns are sexy. Speaking of sexy Capricorns, Denzel Washington.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'll take both of those, please.
Right.
I was just going to say, tonight is actually Bradley Cooper night. I don't know if you've heard his new movie.
Maestro, are you watching it? I haven't watched it yet, but I cannot wait. Okay, so the fact, like, let's talk about Capricorn energy and Bradley Cooper doing Maestro. Like this took so many years, his dedication to learning. I can't remember like how long he had to train to like doing like conducting training for like a mere minutes clip in the movie of him actually conducting. But the dedication that it took to like craft that and hone it in and actually develop that skill. He wasn't just going to act it. He needed to understand it. He needed to hone it in. He needed to be it. Because that was the only way that he could best serve the project. It's the same thing with Denzel Washington. Like anything that Denzel has been a masterclass for his entire career. Yeah. Like it is such a, like, these are people, like the level that we're looking at with them, like, especially because Bradley Cooper was like in some like dumb shit in the beginning of his career. Like, but we look at where he proved himself. Yeah, and even taking on
Yeah.
like director and producer roles, like while he was
Yes.
doing, like those were means to an end for him, right? Getting his career up the ground and money and financing, learning the industry so that he could turn it into what he actually wanted to do and do these big projects. A Star is Born, like his version of A Star is Born is like one
Hands
of the
down.
greatest things that's ever been
Yes.
created. What a gift for all of us. But that is very much like that is his Capricorn energy coming through big time. Like he wants to take off these big, ambitious projects and he is going to work them and find the exact right people, the exact right studios, the exact right honing in of the skills until they get it absolutely perfect. They're not going to rush it. If it takes 9 years, it takes 9 years.
But the craft.
But it's the craft and it is they have to do it justice. And it's the same thing with Denzel. Like Denzel is untouchable.
Yeah.
And the other thing with these people too, as we go through the list, like the string that really like pulls them through, there is major longevity, there is powerhouse performances, there is mad skill, but they're not the flash. When you bring up their names, there is so much, like everyone knows it is undeniable, the appreciation, whether you're a fan of them or not. It's undeniable that they are masters in their crafts. Yes. And that they have had long careers that are phenomenal, but we're not always talking about them because they're not like seeking the public eye. They are actors. They are producers. They are singers. Like they're doing their thing. They're not celebrities. They are very much.
Exactly.
So Greta Thunberg, our little cutie pie world savior, Capricorn. Miss Gayle King. Seth Meyers, Jim Carrey, Kate Middleton, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I loved those four in particular comedian-wise because they are so grounded in their comedy. Like they are so good. It's nothing is ever like over the top. Like, and I say that with Kate McKinnon being involved in that and her being weird Barbie, but it's like, even when she is doing her most outrageous stuff, because her performance is so grounded and she very much is the character, like even when she's being the most outrageous, it doesn't come across as that silly or whatever. Like it's all very enjoyable. It's very rooted. And Seth Meyers was like the longest tenured head writer at SNL.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they like had to like board up his office to get him out. And like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Jim Carrey, like, oh my God. Okay. So I love this time of year because we always revisit Jim Carrey as the Grinch. And we hear more and more and learn more and more about the process of being the Grinch. Like I remember when like we first started going through and hearing about it, it was just about how Jim Carrey was a monster. But then we started to understand more about why he was a monster on set. Yeah. And again, like the perseverance and the patience, like he felt like he was being buried alive every day when he was being put in that Grinch costume because he existed. So like there was so much material over him. He had to sit still for hours and hours and hours and hours every single day for like, it was somewhere between like 50 and 70 days. I don't remember which one it is. Wow. But in the grant, when you think about that, if you put yourself in that position, no human being is meant to sit still for that amount of time, to be put into that much where you feel like you're being suffocated. Ron Howard did it one time so that he could feel what it was like to be Jim Carrey and to see what he was going through. And he was like, yeah, no, it feels like torture. Like it should not be legal for us to make people do things like that. But the fact that he did it, he persevered it and he made that thing. And like, it was an instant icon. It's an instant classic that we all watch, even though it is so unhinged. Like, please.
Sure. Very true.
LeBron James is a Capricorn. No surprise there. Yeah. Dax Shepard.
Love him.
The woman that has given us Coastal Grandmother, Queen of My Heart, Diane Keaton. Regina King. Girl, does that. When I talk about people who have had long careers that do not get the recognition, but the moment that you say their names, you're like, no, she has been phenomenal in every single thing that she's been. More respect needs to be paid on Miss Regina King.
Yes.
Sir Ladies Love Cool J. He's also a Capricorn. I remember the day that I found out that LL meant Ladies Love Cool J.
I didn't know that until you told me that. I had no idea. I thought it was part of his name. Like, it's just his initial.
Guys, I have no words.
You literally said that one day, and I was like, who's she talking about? And then I realized
Ladies Love Cool J.
And I had to go look it up. I was like, oh.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Thank you for enlightening me.
Mr. Steve Harvey. Another king of my heart, the curmudgeon of my dreams, Mr. Jason Bateman. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Hamilton.
This should come as no surprise. Ryan Seacrest. The king of the entertainment industry himself. That's a Capricorn right there. The person where we're all looking at being like, he has to be either a cyborg or he has been cloned, because there's no way that he's able to do all the things that he's able to do in a day. That's a Capricorn.
And he's been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember him back in his DJ days before he had any money and, empires.
He came on the scene as a co-host of the first season of American Idol. People, co-hosts, there was 2 of them. We might forget that. But Ryan Seacrest said, no, sir, this is a solo man's job. And he squashed that co-host.
That's right.
And he became Ryan Seacrest.
And the rest is history.
Yep. Dolly Parton, of course. She is. And of course, save the best for last, Miss Michelle Obama.
Oh! Okay.
If you're a Capricorn, you're in great company, people.
I cannot not mention this movie, Leave the World Behind. Tell me you've seen it.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We'll save this for next month. Please watch that movie.
It scares me.
Oh, but it's so worth it. This is my Barbie, which, by the way, Barbie is on Max now. I can watch it for free. But oh my God, you have to watch that movie. And I bring it up because Michelle and Barack are actually producers of the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. So now I'm like even more interested in like what they're doing now, because I didn't realize they were producing mainstream movies like this.
I didn't know that. Oh, the way I love those 2.
I know.
Mm.
But yes, I don't know. I've watched the movie now 5 times, and
whoa, this is your Barbie. Holy man!
I told you, and I get something different out of it every single time. And I can pick up the influence that they've had in this film as well. From the work, from the things that are important to her, in particular to Michelle, to both of them, to their work, everything. And it's just,
Okay, I'm going to watch it. And everyone listening, I just committed us to accepting Brandy's homework. We're all going to watch it at least once.
I was going to say 5 times.
At least once. We will watch it at least once.
Thank you. Yes. And then we'll discuss next month.
Yes, we will. We will come back and we will revisit that. Okay, my favorite segment, Justice for Capricorn. Yay! Oh, okay. So Capricorns get a bad rep for being like fuddy-duddies, being too rigid, being no fun, being too controlled by rules. Boundaries help them have fun. They teach us that you can stay within the lines and have the time of your life, because when you have boundaries, you know where there is a sense of control, or where like the lines are, so you don't cross them, get into trouble. You don't, make people feel uncomfortable. You don't feel uncomfortable. When we have clear boundaries and we've communicated them, we allow ourselves the opportunity to let go because we know where it's safe to exist.
Yes.
That's not to say that we don't need to push our boundaries a little bit, but it's okay to take it slow and steady. It's okay to just go a little bit at a time. We don't have to be off the walls. Slow and steady does win the race. They are literally like the tortoise and the hare.
Yes,
it's like
that's what I was
the
thinking.
big story. So if you have a Capricorn in your life, or if you have a lot of strong Capricorn in your system, or where Capricorn exists in your chart, then the areas of your life where you might feel a little more restricted, and you might feel like you need a little more structure to exist. And that is, it feels counterintuitive to think that when you want to expand in an area that you have to put boundaries up because it feels constricting, but it helps you to focus.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Capricorns can also like get a rep for being like weighed down or being stifled by a sense of obligation. And you know what? Bless them for it. They do need to let go a little bit, because they will take on everybody's thing. They will take on all the problems because they know that they have the follow through. They know they have the perseverance and the drive. They know that they can rely on themselves. So what that means is, what it can teach the rest of us is the importance of follow through, the importance of commitment and honoring commitments, and the importance of showing up for each other.
Yes.
And the way that a Capricorn will love you, if you see them doing something and you can lend them a hand, the way that they light up, you see them, you're respecting them, you're responding to them, you're honoring them. Just even that being open to help them out in some way. Even if they're not receptive to it, it's just nice for them to know that they're being seen and that they're being respected and appreciated.
I will say that is definitely my love language.
Mm-hmm.
Like acts of service.
Yeah.
Big
time.
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's nice to know that they're not alone and that they can depend on someone else, because sometimes they can make themselves, I'm raising my hands for this, can be a little bit of an island.
Yes.
Right? So Capricornies, you're not an island, and you're not meant to be an island. You got to let the drawbridge down and let people in. As much as you love being there for other people, you have to let people have the opportunity to reciprocate it. Remember that it exists on both sides. You know how good it feels to do something for someone? Give somebody the opportunity to feel as good as you feel doing something for someone by letting them do something for you too. It might not be perfect, and it might not be exactly like what you're doing or how you would do it, but the gift that you're going to get from that bonding that you get from that situation and the closeness that you get from that is worth it.
Okay.
Get a little crazy.
I feel like you're talking directly to me. Okay.
Let go of a little control. You might learn something. You might learn that there's a different way of doing things. Because again, Cappies love a tradition because they know what to expect when they go by tradition and follow the same way that they've done everything. But you know what? Just because it's the way you've always done it does not mean it's always the best way of doing it.
Hands down.
Yep.
Yes.
It's called progress. It's called innovation.
This month. Yes.
Yes.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, exactly. I just had a conversation about how we can get stuck in not wanting to change.
Yeah.
Right. And change is inevitable. It's in everything.
How much would life suck if nothing changed? Like if you were ever getting to a point where you are resisting change, think about how much you enjoy a flushing toilet. That was was change and
That's
innovation.
a good example.
You like electricity, you want to turn a light on so that you can see at night. That was change and innovation. Like things had to change, and people resisted all of those things. The automobile, we resisted
cars,
that.
exactly. Yep.
Everything that exists that was innovation was resisted at some point in time, but it has been so important, and it has allowed us to open up and figure out new and better ways of doing things and to accomplish more and things that we never thought could ever have existed. So give it a shot. You never know what you're capable of.
Be open.
Now, the last thing with Capricorns is that they're very strategic, and sometimes it can be a little cutthroat, a little ruthless, a little calculating, and it can sometimes be by all means necessary. And sometimes that can mean, if you're competing for like a job or a project or something, and you might feel that you can get a little underhanded in going after it. Capricorns can sometimes almost be seen as detaching from their humanness to get to the goal. They have a unique ability to be able to just focus on like I'm pretty sure Capricorn coined the phrase, like, it's not personal, it's just business.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
You see where I'm going at with this? Like there's a way to be able to like isolate it and be able to just focus of like, I'm going to put humanness aside and just focus on getting this done because it needs to get done. And that does serve a purpose sometimes, because sometimes we can get too caught up in the humans and emotions and we sacrifice it. But there is a balance in existing in both of those sides. So by all means necessary within reason.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Capricorns can sometimes, most of the times when Capricorn gets into a like by all means necessary, it's more often that they are sacrificing themselves and their well-beings to get it done, not necessarily that they're being ruthless and cutthroat against other people. And that's where Capricorns need to catch themselves is, are they being of service at sacrifice of self?
Oh, okay.
But they do teach us that lesson that sometimes we've got to do things that we don't want to do, but we get to find a way to enjoy doing them.
Nice. Just on a side note, I just listened to another podcast yesterday, actually, where this woman is an Akashic Records expert opener. I'm not sure what the proper term, but that's what she does.
Yeah.
And she actually did it for 2024, which is like a totally, a new concept to me. And it was something she wanted to play with. But one of the things that kept coming up for her was how important it is that we do not lose our humanity, right? In striving for the things that we want.
Well, and that is in order for capitalism to exist, we have to do that. And we've gotten so far into our capitalist society that it has been burdensome to the point where we literally are. That's why like sweatshops and things like that, how those came into fruition. It was by any means necessary because we started doing all this innovation and we liked what it was doing. But then we started looking at how can we do this more and more. And it shifted away from what it started out to be. But now we're at this point, and that's why it's burning down, is it's the structures that we've created got us to a certain point, and now it's no longer helping, it's hindering.
That makes sense.
But that's I think one of the big reasons why we're having these questions now about capitalism. And I really noticed this year more than any other year the discussion around not putting yourself in debt for the holidays and letting people know, like not shopping and buying things just for the sake of getting it, setting a budget for yourself and living within it, and being honest with people about saying, this year we're struggling and we can't afford to do these things anymore, and to not make yourself feel shameful about it. And that's really starting to be the marker where we're starting to see that shift in how we operate in our capitalism. Because it's something that we just, in order for it to exist, we have to put a level of our humanity aside.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool to see so much conversation about that this year.
Yeah, even in my circle, like I received so many more homemade gifts this year. And I appreciate that. Like it meant more that someone baked something for me or made this thing and put their time and effort into it versus just going to a store. Like I love that.
And just grabbing something off the shelf.
Yeah. So I was like, no, don't be sorry. Like this is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's so fabulous and just for like the general consensus to be, let's give ourselves some grace, to be honest and to be real and to not judge ourselves or for others.
Yeah.
Let's just take care of ourselves this year.
Oh.
All right, get out your calendars.
Yes.
It's time for Key Dates to Know.
I'm so excited because I have a brand new planner for 2024.
Okay, yes. Like you want to talk about turn-ons with Capricorn placements? Planners, a new planner? Yes. I see a body graph.
Yeah. My mommy was like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I just want a new planner. That's all I need.
I treated myself. That was my Boxing Day gift to myself.
Love it.
I bought my 2024 planner and I have a day marked on my calendar. That is my planner day, to really give myself the space to sit in it and to like do all the like the preamble stuff, the goal setting, to mark everything down in it to make sure that it's all.
Love that. Yes.
I'm going to set like a whole mood around it. It's going to be.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Light some candles, put on some mood music, really romance the situation.
Speaking my language, yes.
You see what I mean about like this Capricorn energy can be cute, fun, and flirty. Okay. We are kicking off, you guys. We're kicking off January with some great news. And I could, because we are recording this in the thick of it, still in 2023, it thrills me even more to be able to say this. But January 1st, Mercury goes direct in Sagittarius.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
And what a great day to do that.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, we are kicking off 2024 and, we may have been like a little bit stalled in trying to figure out what our resolutions are going to be or getting a head start on them. But man alive, we are going to hit the ground running in 2024. We're going to be clear with our communications. We're going to like have insights and we're going to have all these ideas of what it is that we want to create for 2024.
I got that.
Oh, will not be edited out. So Mercury going direct in Sagittarius. We know Sag has like this big world vision, shoot for the moon, land in Jupiter energy. Like we want big things. And Mercury is going to help us come up with a plan to get there and to figure out how we're going to communicate it, where we need to go, the people that we're going to need, and connecting the dots. It's going to be, this is the energy that we want to be kicking off and just grounding into our resolutions. We've got big visions, big plans. We're going to map it out.
Love it.
Oh, it's going to be great. And it's also going to be a really great day to, if you got into any sort of conflicts over December or the holiday period when Mercury was in retrograde, this will be a really great time for you to reach out and make reconciliations. If you gave a little dose of like non-sugar-coated truths, maybe offer them a spoonful of sugar.
Seems fair.
It might be a nice gesture.
Okay.
And then on January 4th, which will continue on until February 13th, Mars moves into Capricorn. And this is really the make it happen energy that we need to get the ball rolling and to start building momentum towards our big plans for 2024. So with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, we've got the visions, we know what it is that we want. We've got the map, we planned it out, we see it. January 4th, we have our action planet, the doer, moving into Capricorn, efficient, effective, going after it. We've got the boost that we want. And so we're going to lean into the universal laws of momentum and starting to take those actions. And allow them to start building up and compound so that we get the momentum going so we can carry it out throughout the year. This is going to be such a powerful position. So on a day, like during this like month and a bit, if you're having a day where you're feeling like, I don't really know, just commit yourself to doing one small thing. Like, for example, if you have a goal that you want to be like your healthiest, fittest self this year, and you're like, you know what? It is January 14th. I'm not feeling it today. I am supposed to do my workout, my scheduled workout, but I'm not feeling it today. Say to yourself, okay, I might not feel like going and doing my full workout, but I know how important it is to see this through, to have follow through, to persevere and have mind over matter for this. So I'm going to still show up and commit to myself. I'm going to put on my workout gear and I'm going to do just 5 minutes. And watch how that 5 minutes becomes 10, becomes 15, becomes 20, becomes 30, and so on and so forth. Before you know it, the workout that you had scheduled was done. But just give yourself that little breadcrumb that you need to remember that it's not as bad, because it can feel like if you have in your head that you're going to go and do this 60-minute workout and you're like, I just like 60 minutes can feel so daunting. But if you say, okay, but I'm going to honor myself still by doing just 5 minutes, and that way I'm still showing up for myself and I'm still moving the needle forward a little bit today, that's so much easier to take on than the 60 minutes. And then you just keep letting yourself going. The hardest part is getting going, but after 5-10 minutes, you're going to be like, bam.
I could do more. Yeah.
Exactly. You're like, this actually feels great. I love doing this. Even if it starts as like, I'm just going to go for like a light walk around the neighborhood. And then before you know it, you're like, I'm going to go and do my full thing because this feels great. My head feels clear. My energy level is up. The more I move my body, the more energy I have, the more I can get done, the better I feel, you know. And that goes for anything that you're going to do. If you wanted to read more, if you had a project that you wanted to start with work, like just set a timer for 5 minutes and get yourself going on it. And remember how good it feels to show up for yourself. I don't remember where this quote came from, who said it, where I heard it, why I heard it, or even exactly as it goes out. But the sentiment of it was a commitment to yourself is still a commitment. And we're so quick to, if it's just for us, we are so quick to make excuses to not show up.
So true.
And we are the person that we should be committing to the most. If there is one person on this earth that deserves all of your commitment, all of your integrity, it is you. And remember that if you're willing to not show up for yourself and not honor your commitments to yourself, that means that you're giving other people permission to do the same for you.
Thank you. Yes. You're teaching.
You set that precedent.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So ask yourself, am I the type of person that doesn't show up for people? If the answer to that is no, you are not the kind of person who doesn't show up to people. You are people. You are included in that. So you need to show up for yourself too.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. And just one more time, you said this is from January 4th till
February 13th.
February. Okay. Thank you.
So we got a long time to start building momentum. And within that time, it is going to become a habit for us to show up in some way, shape, or form. Don't judge yourself on the degree or the level that you show up for yourself every single day. Remember that it's not always going to be 100%, but give your 100%.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is some days you will only have 30% to give, but if you give 100% of that 30%, that's still 100%.
Exactly.
Okay. There you go. And if you need motivation and you're like, if you're thinking, you know what? I don't know that I want to go and do that workout today, or I don't know that I want to start writing that page of my book today, you slide into my DMs and you ask me if that's a good idea or not. And I will give you the butt kicking that you need to go write that sentence. Just go write one sentence.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Love it.
Get in them DMs.
Oh my goodness. Love it.
Okay. January 11th, we have our Capricorn new moon. This is the first new moon of the year. And it is in our sweet, sweet baby Capricorn. We are all about achievements. We are all about ambition.
111.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Ooh, this is, you guys, if you haven't gotten it, we're starting out the year sweet. We are saying sayonara to the dumpster fire of 2023. And we are saying hello to the phoenix rising from the ashes of that dumpster fire. Okay?
Yes.
That's where we're at.
Bring it.
We are going to be feeling so energized, so optimistic about what lies ahead of us, that we are going to set some real ass intentions of what it is that we want. And we are going to know in our bones that because we can see it in our head or we can feel it in our systems and somewhere, whatever that big dream is, that it is already ours. And all we have to do is take small steps every single day to get it there.
Yes.
It's like New Year's Day round 2.
I love that.
Oh, it's going to feel so good. So really, like, do not hold yourself back on this day, whatever it is, like, get yourself into the vibe, really see it, really experience it. Dare yourself to really believe that the biggest dreams, the most audacious things, like whatever gives you butterflies in your system about going off and accomplishing, let yourself believe and know that it is possible for you. And it is available. It's going to give you so much focus on what it is that actually matters to you in 2024. And then what I want you to do is to wait, like whatever it is that you know, that's your focus. And that is what you have up against. So anything that comes into your life throughout the year, you're measuring it up against that. Does it serve this purpose? And if it doesn't, then it does not need your energy this year. You can revisit it later. But that's how we start to get like off track, right? Like we'll have opportunities that come up and we forget what it is that we focused, or we're like afraid that we're going to miss out on something. Really lean into that. It's like you've said it and forget it. January 13th to February 5th, we have Mercury in Capricorn. So we're getting really into like the strategist of making this happen. So we've got this energy of Mars in Capricorn, which is helping us to have the energy and the determination to take the actions. We've got the vision. We've set the intentions. We know where our mile markers are. We know what it is that we are focusing on. And now with Mercury, we are going to be speaking our ambitions. We're going to be talking, like bringing these things into life. We're going to be making the connections with people that we need, finding the technology and resources that we need to back it up so that we have all these things in line. We've got budgets, we've got timelines, we've got proposals, right? Like we've got all the things in place. And that's really honing in the elevator pitch, knowing what it is and how you're going to like communicate it to people. We're going to be honing in that portion. So when somebody's like, what are you working towards? Or what is it that you want this year? You're gonna be like, 60 seconds or less, you'll be able to whip it off and dazzle people so that they also have bought in just as much, if not more, to what it is that you're putting out there. Does this not feel so good? I'm so freaking jazzed.
It feels really good. And I remember my words now. I know that I think it's between the 7th and the 9th, most people start to fall off of their goals, their resolutions, right?
Because that's usually around the day where like you have that first thought of, I don't really feel like doing it today.
Exactly. And I love how what you're totally preaching right now. What you're preaching is stay focused and don't worry about this big thing. Like, how can you break it down? Like, I love how you said, maybe today your 100% is 30, but how can you do 100% of that? Right? Like, keep it. I don't want to say keep it, but like, do what you can, appreciate where you are, and just do the very best you can. But don't like throw it out the window with the baby, all of it, right?
Exactly. Just do your best, whatever that looks like every single day. And it's what we're looking for is compound effects.
Yes.
Compounded progress. And that's what you go and look at our girl, Regina King, Denzel Washington, Bradley Cooper, Kate Middleton, like Greta Thunberg. Compounded effects. It's little steps every single day that will turn out to these massive milestones for you. But it takes time. It takes perseverance. You have to know it, want it, and believe without a shadow of a doubt that it is there for you, and nothing is going to stand in your way. It's really understanding that we don't fail until we stop.
Yes, exactly.
That's the only time that you fail is when you've given up on it. Okay, we have on January 20th, we have a couple of big things happening. We first have Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius, which is like Pluto moving a sign is a generational marker. So it brings in a new wave. Ooh. A new way of being, it's the dawn of a new age.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And with it moving into Aquarius, we are in for just some really cool things to happen for us. So Pluto is going to continue on moving, like it's kind of moving between Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay. With its like retrograding. So as we're shifting from Capricorn into Aquarius with Pluto, we're going to start seeing like more of like the AI, more of the tech, more of communal living, more of like defining like a new definition of utopia and what that looks like, and bringing more into humanity, arts, culture, and improving our living in a way that is not traditional capitalistic structures that we've known to exist in. We're coming out of that age and we're moving into this new 20-year era that is about innovation, that is about human, that is about art, creativity, and a new, better way of being that serves the majority instead of the few.
Oh, now that turns me on.
Right? It's going to be very exciting. It's going to get very weird. But it's like, it's like whenever anyone feels like any like weirdness around Aquarius, I just love to remind everyone, like we're moving into the age of Harry Styles. Okay. Like Harry Styles is the king of Aquarius. We could all be so lucky.
That's all I needed. That explains
it's like if
it
Harry
to a
Styles ruled the world, what would that look like? Everybody just be loving, dressing however they want to dress.
Pretty much.
Chill.
Yes.
Yeah. Just everybody have a good time.
Oh my goodness.
And
Exciting
then
times.
on the 20th, we have the sun moving into Aquarius as well that day, which marks Aquarius season. So, more of that energy just on a day to day. And we're saying happy birthday to our dear Aquarius, our living weirdos whom we love dearly, which includes my brother. Happy birthday, Eric.
Oh, that is big. So Pluto and Sun moving into Aquarius. Wow.
Yeah. So we've got some really cool, and like Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Like it is a weirdo. All of our favorite weirdos exist in this space, and we love them for it. They help us to stretch. My brother growing up, like if you were to have asked my brother at any point in time what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he would have told you inventor.
That's cool.
Yeah, like that's what he wanted to do. I've never met anyone who had that answer aside from like 4-year-old Eric. What do you want to be? I want to be an inventor. What do you want to invent? I don't know, but I'll figure it out. Whatever it is that I invent.
I love that. I love that.
January 25th, we have our full moon in Leo. So as we have been throughout January, building up our plans, really believing in it, really starting to associate with our big dreams and aligning with the fact that not only can they happen, but they will happen because we are going to commit to them and ourselves, and we're going to have our integrity, and we're going to hold it up, and we're going to show up every day to the best of our ability. We're going to let that pride explode with the Leo full moon. We are going to really embolden ourselves to walk the walk, talk the talk, to be feeling ourselves, to be our little blue ivies up on that stage, owning our space. We are going to just have the courage to be in our full expressions and to be our most audacious, bold, loving selves who are just taking creative risks and living life in the best way possible.
Done.
Nothing else matters.
Done. Yes.
Yeah. Fortune favors the bold.
That is true. And it's okay to go back to our new moon, full moon rituals.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to worry about that until the spring.
Okay. Perfect.
You go get ritualized and do whatever it is that you got to do to get through. Don't you worry.
Get your crystals, ritual water, whatever you need.
Whatever it is that you got to do to get through, you do it.
Love it.
And you do it with pride. Invite people into it. Tell people what it is that you do. Share your secrets and be open to hearing others.
Yes. Yes.
All right, kittens.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, short and
I know we
sweet.
went like a
That's
little
a lot.
bit over time.
It's okay. It was totally worth it. You are the only one I will do that with now. I am going to get very strict on my time.
You are. Oh, man.
Like creating boundaries. Yes.
Exactly. And you know what? We're going to get even better in January.
That's right.
Yeah. This is not really the last unhinged episode that you will hear, or if you do treat yourself to watch this, which cannot recommend enough.
Exactly. To see our
sometimes you can see me go into like trance talk sometimes, which like I'm aware of that it's going to look a certain way, but I'm in it, so nothing I'm doing about it.
It's all good.
But I can see myself looking off.
You're channeling. Intuitive Heather. Yes. No, but I love this. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not a whole lot of stuff going on in January. It's like the perfect amount, and it's all directed to help us be focused and really get the year started off right, on the right footing.
Oh, it's going to feel so good. And especially because we've had such a contrasted energy where it has been feeling so heavy.
Yeah.
That it's now we're going to feel so much lighter, and that will help us to get that momentum building that we need to see it through the year.
Yeah. No, I love that. I freaking love that. I just started reading Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Ooh.
Yeah, which I'm like really late to the game. I recognize
that's
that.
that's how I like to be with things too. Like I read Atomic Habits last year and I was like, oh man, I'm like, you guys, this is like
so good.
My biggest takeaway from that book was literally like action versus mission. And it's like rocked my world.
Seriously. That book and Rich Dad Poor Dad are on my nightstand with my like stack of other ones that are every year, possibly every other quarter, just to revisit, you know?
Yeah.
But there's one part in Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I feel like is really, it's good for this moment because he talks about what kind of foundation are you creating, right? And you think about a foundation for a house. For a house, it's like a 6 foot, deep foundation. It's not that serious, right? But if you're building the Empire State Building, a high rise, that sucker goes down deep. Yep. Right? So really getting clear on what is your intention? What are you wanting to build?
And you have to think about the quality of that foundation as well.
Exactly.
If there are cracks in that foundation, it doesn't even matter if it's a little shack that you put on top of it. Over time, that foundation will erode and crumble, and then your house is going to fall down. You can't build until you've got a solid foundation.
Exactly.
And sometimes we just get so tired of the foundation and laying it and really honing in that part of it that we just want to jump ahead. Yeah. And so that's bring yourself back to Bradley Cooper's level, where if it's going to take 9 years to get it, like do it right the first time and it will pay off in dividends.
Absolutely. And I feel like this past year, like really working with you on this on AstroLOVE has really helped me to see those cracks, right? And it's like I've had the opportunity now, especially when we do this, because we do it early before you guys see it. But it's like to really look at my month, to really look at what is coming ahead. Like this to me is part of me checking my foundation.
Yeah.
And making sure that what I'm wanting, the plans that I'm making are actually going to make sense with what I have. And then if they don't, okay, where can I go back and correct? Where can I tighten up a little bit? Right?
Yeah.
This is all part of it. And I love, yes, January already feels so much lighter considering it's the first of the year. We all have these big ideas and dreams, but yet it feels light. It feels like there's going to be some breathing space.
I know it's going to be so good. We're with the end of December, revisiting end of December. We're like in this reflection space. We're learning the lessons from this past year. Where did things not match up for us? Where did we abandon ourselves? Where did we make decisions that didn't work out the way that we wanted them to? What is it that we can learn from to make better decisions moving forward? So not beating yourself up about what happened, but just accepting that it did happen and what can I do better for next year so that when we do get all that gorgeous energy that we're given astrologically in January, that we're not going to squander it by repeating habits.
Yes.
We're older, we're wiser, we know more, we're more experienced. Use that wisdom to boost yourself. Be better. Don't just be self-aware.
Yes.
Don't know better, do better.
Yes. 2024, the year of doing better. And I want to say too, I know when this comes out, you have already had your, oh my God, what's it called? Not the year of yes.
The year of you.
Year of you. You already have done that. Are they able to get a recording though?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'll have that in the show notes. And it is never too late to do a one-on-one with Heather. I did this last year. I bought one from my mom. Seriously, it set us up amazingly. Like this, in addition to the monthly AstroLOVEs, treat yourself, invest in yourself and do this.
Oh, and I'm only getting better, people.
Like a fine wine. So all of that will be in the show notes as well. And like Heather said, DM her if you need some support.
Yes. Get in there. Can't stress it enough. Get in there.
All right, my dear, any final words of wisdom you want to leave us with as we start this beautiful new month?
Oh, congratulations. We made it. We did it. And I can't wait to see what 2024 brings for everyone. It is going to be such a good year because we are deciding that it is going to be a good year. And we're remembering that we are the ones that are in control. So that means that even if things go sideways at any point in time, we still have the power to turn that back around and use it in our favor. We are the ones who have the power.
Yes. Amen.
That's what I shall leave you with.
Thank you, my dear. All right, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining us for another AstroLOVE. Happy New Year. Happy January. Happy 2024. Oh, I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be another amazing ride. And we got so much in store for you.
It's going to be so fantastic. And keep your eyes out for our blooper reel because it is.
It's true. And if you're watching right now, yeah, this is us. All right, friends, we love you. Check the show notes for all the goodies, the links, things to follow up on. And send us your questions. Next month, we will have more Q&A for you. I got some juicy ones coming up to send you. And some more surprises. So stay tuned and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone. We love you.
Bye for now.